I just realized this is a bad idea because the fan is on. Well, welcome to bathroom vlogs, everybody. This time I'm not naked in a bath, but I'm on the toilet. I finished crapping. My pants are still down, so the camera's not. Whoa! I see what you did there. Stop it. Stop. But yeah. So last time I promised that it might become a weekly thing about the D&D stories. I still haven't taken a shower yet, by the way. But so some things happened, and I couldn't join back on the original campaign, so I never found out who the fucking Scooby-Doo mystery story is, which doesn't matter because I got tossed in a new one. So, I come in, I made a group of friends that I do this regularly on Wednesdays and Saturdays, so I attended 2 sessions, and I still haven't leveled up, but they jacked me up to level 7 to start with. So I'm still a bard, right? I'm a bard, orphan, half-elf girl, urchin, whatever, who the fuck cares, and, because they tossed me into the campaign just right in the middle, so they just arbitrarily decided what my hometown was gonna be. It's called Daggerford, which is cool name, bro. A real edgelord, bro. Super sharp, bro. There's an inn, and my character wakes up next to a woman, and I'm like, oh, I like where this is going. Except she's dead. Her face has been smashed in. There's a stab. She's been stabbed in the back by a rapier. My rapier's been bloodied. And there's a guy in the corner that I've never fucking seen before in my life, and his hands are covered in blood. I ain't having none of this. So my character immediately screams for the guards. Okay, orphan girl, whatever. She's seen some shit, but she's never woken up next to a dead body before. That's the first. That's the first for anybody end up in this bitch. So the guards come. I convinced them hysterically that the other guy that was in the room with me had to have been the murderer, but the nigga's already left and washed up, so he got rid of the evidence, which is bad because the guards decide, you guys are the most likely suspects, but they kind of believe that I'm probably not the one that did it and think it's more the other guy because there's a lot of blood on his giant adamantine knobo, which is like a really big staff, and he has gauntlets of giant strength. Without that, you can't even lift the motherfucker because it's too heavy. So, has to have been him, probably. Or someone who used his gloves of giant strength. Eventually we find out that this woman has a sister. She was a cleric, has a sister, and has another member of the clergy with her at the town. They're trying to build up a temple, but they're just having mass just kind of in like a small public corner with like the courtyard and stuff like that and stuff, whatever. So now we're looking for evidence. So I'm like, okay. So we're like, all right. Did those guys get along? Turns out she and that nigga had beef, and by that nigga I mean the other priest guy. That's whatever. So we go into his room. We break into all of his shit. I check for hidden compartments and all that stuff. We find locked and hidden away diary. There's an imprint in it of a ring, and there's a ring missing from the girl's finger. There's bloody gloves. So we're like, all right, this nigga did it. We're jumping to conclusions. We're like, this nigga did it. We gotta go. This nigga did it, officer. We gotta get this nigga. So we go out and we start like, I'm dumb and I start accusing this motherfucker. Nigga, you did this shit. You did it. These are your gloves. He's like, that ain't my gloves. Try on the gloves. They fit them perfectly. Meanwhile, another guy, there's a Dragonborn, I forget what class he is, because he didn't come to the second session, but he is some sort of a melee fighter. So he's a fighter. I remember that now. And so he goes over the Oh, he goes over to the innkeeper, who happens to be my character's backstory's like auntie, kind of helped raise this bitch. This bitch that wakes up next to a dead body and just fucking screams. So our alibis are that. By the way, our alibis are that we had passed out before, while the five of us had just all been chatting and hanging out. I had fallen asleep in the bed. The other motherfucker passed out in the corner where he hadn't left. And then everyone else had left our rooms. So someone's trying to accuse of us some shit. And we ain't having none of that. So we go and God, I still need to shower. My hair is crazy. gotta find a better angle. So we go out, we grab that motherfucker, and then we realize that after a small series of events, that they're not just sisters, they twins. And I'm like, oh shit, nigga, we gotta check her room now too, cause there's an older gentleman with us, and he's playing the Wizard Ronaldo, the Destroyer, who apparently also owns a magic item shop, so he has a lot of gold. So he goes over. And he checks that shit. We check that shit. I look for hidden compartments. We find the diary. Has the dead sister's name on it. It's not in her writing. And we find out that with bandits, they've been that was really annoying. It's not extortion. I'm trying to embezzle. There we go. I'm trying to find the other E word. Embezzling from the church. So and then the other sister found out, and that's why they had to kill the bitch. So we go out. We accuse the sister. The sister breaks down, crying. She confesses to everything. She had. I believe I mentioned a bandit earlier. If I haven't, there's a bandit that was seen talking with the priest. The head priest. Guy, the nigga that had the beef with the dead girl, but turns out she swapped places with her sister, killed her sister, and pretended to be her sister instead, because she married this bandit and they wanted to get the money and run the fuck away. Well, they were embezzling it to the group, so it's not like it really would have done anything. And so, yay, we found the murderer, and guess what? We gotta find another murderer. So now we are acquitted. We are acquitted. We are innocent. We get all of our shit back, because obviously they confiscated the weapons. But I'm playing a female bard, so I hid a dagger between my breasts in case some shit went down, and I got away with it. Sleight of hand. I know some of this stuff is a little out of order, but it's been a couple of days. So turns out there's a bunch of murders where, just people are being found with their necks slit in bed with some sort of jaggedy knife. Except there's no blood every time. And then we're like, oh shit, it's vampires. Because they drain the blood, and then the dagger is just camouflage. We're like, oh shit, nigga, what the fuck? So now we're going vampire hunting. There's a river that cuts through the middle of fucking town. This town is slowly becoming Fuyuki, and I am Ermi Shiroe. If anyone knows Fate, that's my character slowly becoming that character. That's right. But we eventually track down the vampire. And then some shadowy ninja-like elves are approaching us, and we're like, that's a different group of people. We don't know who the fuck they are. So, but our paladin goes off and has a talk with them, and then they leave. It's some sketchy shit. I don't know what the fucking deal is with, but that girl got some backstory. Fucking calling himself anime character Mikami, the Twin Blade. Like, what the fuck? I think it's like a paladin rogue or something. I don't know what the hell that deal is. It might be a paladin ranger or something. I don't fucking know. That's dual wielding. That's all I know. We kill the vampire. My character, chaotic neutral, tries to pickpocket the little necklace away. Almost gets away with it, but we split the loot amongst the party. That's session 1. Session 2. Now we are apparently the Dragonborn who couldn't make the session actually had given me 15 platinum pieces at the end of the session. So essentially, I guess the story is that he convinced me to help the party. He temporarily had to go somewhere else and take care of some other business, and the 15 platinum was payment to help me get up on my feet and help out on some other stuff. The GM also rolls a die, and I get a couple of potions, and some additional gold and a sack of straw for some reason from this random old lady. I'll take it. First fight fire giants. 2 fucking fire giants and 3 ogres and 2 orcs and some demonic orc lord thing. I don't know what the fuck it is, but that's what they toss me into, and every time the GM rolls for something random to happen, all but one time it was targeted at me. So both of the potions of heal serious wounds, which we haven't even gotten to yet in the story for them, I had to use them both. I barely survived the encounters, and we go on our way. So that's a great way to start the second session. I almost got my ass murdered, because giants will throw boulders at you. And then there was a fire elemental on top of that was trying to burn my snatch. Look, I'm a redhead, but I don't really want the carpet to match the drapes in the fire method, okay? Nobody wants that. That's terrible. That's terrifying. They're trying to burn me alive. Like, I'm like, oh great, yeah, real great. This is my first like real battle of the day. This is real great, man. So we're looking for a frost giant called Hashnag. I think they're playing through the campaign called Storm of the Coast or something like that. Storm Coast, something along the lines. That's what I saw the DM pawing through. So we're trying to get a bunch of stuff happening. My armor just gets ruined right out the gate. I do end up upgrading to a breastplate. And so my armor count goes up 1, so I'm a little harder to damage. So there's a bunch of stuff that happens, and I roll a lot of 1s in this session. A lot of 1s. A lot of critical fails. And then, there's some stupid shit that goes on all the time. It's always my character. Yeah, we're running down the highway. I have low passive perception because nobody fucking told me the way perception works and how important the fucking thing it is. So I didn't pick it as a proficiency when I could have. And now I'm just getting there's a bunch of just hill giants up on the fucking hill, and they tossing boulders everywhere randomly. One of them luckily hits me when they have disadvantage because they're throwing up the almost maximum range, and it hits me off the thing, and I fall off the cart, and all this other shit. Help me. Well, eventually, we come across well, while we're camping at night, I'm a bard, so I'm a good bard. I got a lot of passive skills. One of them is support skills, not passive. One of them is called Leopold's Tiny Hut. So I can make a hut that protects us from the night and is a safe place to sleep. We can look through it, we can keep watching all that other shit, and it's all good. You can also choose the color, so I'm just camouflaging that shit every night. We're in some grasslands, and then we see a bunch, like a giant hill giant, and a pack of orcs and kobolds, ogres and kobolds. And we're like, okay, they're like a hunting party thing. We gotta do something about that. So, in comes a fireball. If you don't know D&D, instead of fireball, it's more like Megumin explosion. Choose a place in space and just boom, 20 feet radius fireball. So 40 feet wide, just fireball just explodes. Then I cast sleep using my 4th level spell, and then all the ogres fall asleep. Our other fighter, who has the gauntlets of giant strength, also happens to have a giant slaying sword, because of course he does. And he one-shots the remaining health from the fucking hill giant, and we're like, oh, is that even a fight at that point? Does something happen? I don't know. So turns out there is we look through the bags. The fighter's like, don't bother. There's nothing in there. I'm like, well, I want to look through every of it. We end up finding a cow carcass where 2 halflings are hiding in, and we're like, oh shit. So we rescue the halflings, but we find a friendly dragon, little young copper dragon flying through the sky. He helps us. Well, we have to pay him, but he helps us by taking the halflings to the nearest safe town and tells us about a hill giant in a tower. Long story short, her husband has been taken by some chieftain. So we got a new hill giant contact, and then we met Hashnag right after, just because we rolled like a super lucky roll. So now we're accompanied by Hashnag. We drop by town for some supplies, and we start heading north, because apparently we're heading north for some reason, and I forget the reason why. But it's important, because we gotta stop the giants, because the giants are trying to find pieces of an adamantine golem that can kill dragons, because there's a war between dragons and giants going on right now, and Hashnag is kills evil giants, quote unquote, says him, and has us having fucking none of it. And then we come across a pack of these like giant hyena men. I forget what they're called. 2 of them, well, it was only supposed to be 1 of them, but the GM forgot about a certain rule. But 2 of them has this mace where if it hits you, it can cause madness and force you to attack your nearest whatever, so aka your friends. The next one can cause pain, and you have to do saving throws. And the last one can cause paralysis, and when he swings at you, all 3 of them will hit you. So that was one weird ass fight. We ended up putting 2 separate firewalls, walls of flame up, so that they have to like circle all around it. Some of them have to stay on the outside of the flame, and they can only shoot arrows through, and that's all they can manage. But you know, there's a bit of a disadvantage because they have to fire like a little bit out of their most effective range, and some bunch of crazy shit. The GM is having terrible rolls when it's the enemy, and really good rolls when it has to be Hashnag that's accompanying us. And there's also we also managed to roll a Dragonborn Ranger that we come across, and he actually ends up tagging along with us. He gave my character a little wooden carving for sleeping, which is both, you know, like, it's like, aw, and a little at the same time. But that's the thing. We end up wiping them the fuck out, which is great. I mean, the Ranger got put under madness, but it was good because I put to sleep a whole bunch of the little hyena rat men around him, so he just starts stabbing their throats in his madness, like, before he snaps out of it. He kills 4 separate fucking sleeping guys before he snaps out of it. He's like, oh dear, what have I done? It's just, I'm just using sleep, because sleep is like some of the most like useful shit I have ever fucking seen. And this nigga just stabbing fucking slinging people in the chest and neck. And that's where we left off. So I managed to fit that all in about 20 minutes, not bad. And next time in Bathroom Vlogs, D&D edition.